Okay, so a 3 billion parameter model just matched Gemini 3 Pro and Claude Opus 4.5 on hard math, and I get why your first reaction is to roll your eyes at that. I had the same reaction. A model this small beating systems that are literally hundreds of times bigger sounds like the kind of benchmark claim that falls apart the second you actually use it. VibeThinker 3B is the model, and it comes out of the AI lab at Weibo. For anyone not familiar, Weibo is basically the Chinese version of Twitter, a huge social platform, and they have a small research group of about 9 people that put this out under an MIT license. So the weights, the code, all of it is open and free to use commercially. The base they started from is Qwen 2.5 Coder 3B, which is already an older model at this point. They didn't pre-train anything from scratch here. What they did instead was build a post-training recipe on top of that older base and turn it into a focused reasoning model. This idea isn't brand new, by the way. Andrej Karpathy floated something similar a while back. This notion that you could eventually have a tiny model, maybe a billion parameters, that doesn't really store knowledge at all. It just holds a core set of reasoning skills and reaches for tools like search when it needs facts. That's roughly the direction this research is pointing. The team gave it a name, too, the Parametric Compression Coverage Hypothesis, which is a mouthful, but the meaning is straightforward. Reasoning is compressible, and you can pack it into a small model. Broad world knowledge, random trivia, long-tail facts. That stuff is not compressible and genuinely needs raw parameter count to cover. Now the numbers, because they are genuinely surprising, and I want to walk these carefully because the comparisons matter. Start with AIM 2025, one of the headline math benchmarks. VibeThinker 3B scores 91.4 on its own, and with their test time trick turned on, it climbs to 96.7. To put that next to the giants, Qwen 3.6 Plus sits at 93.3, SGLang hits 96.7, Gemini 2.5 gets 96.1, and Claude Opus 4.5 lands at 92.8. So a 3 billion parameter model is sitting right in the same band as a trillion parameter model on that test. On AIM 2026, it's the same story. VibeThinker scores 94.3 on its own and 97.1 boosted, against Gemini 3 Pro at 91.7 and Claude Opus 4.5 at 95.1. It's genuinely beating Gemini 3 Pro on that one. HMT 2025 is another hard math set, and there it scores 89.3 on its own, climbing to 95.4 with the boost, which puts it level with Gemini 2.5 at 95.4 and ahead of Claude Opus 4.5 at 92.9. Then on IMO Answer Bench, which is 400 Olympiad-level problems, it gets 76.4 on its own and 80.6 with the boost. The bigger models edge it out here, Qwen 3.6 Plus at 83.8 and SGLang at 82.5, but it's still clearing Claude Opus 4.5 at 78.5. So on the pure math benchmarks, this thing is not just close. In several cases, it's winning. Coding is where the gap shows up more honestly. On Live Code Bench V6, it scores 80.2, and that's the one benchmark on this chart where it sits clearly below the pack. Gemini 3 Pro leads at 87.4, Qwen 3.6 Plus at 87.1, SGLang at 85.5, Gemini 2.5 at 85.0, Claude Opus 4.5 at 84.8. So it's trailing by a few points on real-world coding, which lines up with the team's own advice that this is built for competitive, contest-style coding rather than general software work. On verifiable math, this 3 billion parameter model is genuinely matching or beating models 200 to 300 times its size. On coding, it's a step behind. And on broad knowledge, it falls apart, which is exactly what you'd expect from a model that wasn't built to store facts. The claim was never that this beats Gemini 3 Pro at everything. It's specifically about that narrow slice of verifiable reasoning, and on that slice, it holds up better than it has any right to. The training pipeline is where I'd actually spend your attention. The whole thing follows what they call the spectrum to signal principle. The rough idea is you first generate a wide spectrum of different ways to solve problems, lots of varied reasoning paths, and then reinforcement learning amplifies the correct ones, which is the signal. It runs in a few stages. First, there's a two-stage supervised fine-tune, where stage 1 covers broad ground across math, code, STEM, and dialogue, and stage 2 narrows down to only the harder, longer problems. They deliberately throw out the easy stuff and the short reasoning traces, so the model is forced to learn long, deep problem solving instead of shallow pattern matching. Then comes the reinforcement learning, applied one domain at a time across math, code, and STEM. They use their own variant of policy optimization called MGPO, and the key behavior there is it constantly steers the model toward problems that are neither too easy nor too hard, right at the edge of what it can currently handle. They also do a distillation step that's tuned for diversity on purpose. They don't want the model collapsing onto one single way of solving each problem, so they keep multiple checkpoints and merge the good trajectories back into one student model. And there's a final controllability pass to make it behave better on actual user prompts. The test time trick I keep mentioning is called claim level reliability, or CLR. In plain terms, the model generates a bunch of candidate answers and then scores them to pick the one most likely to be right. That's the boost you saw in those numbers, the jump from 91.4 to 96.7 on AIM 2025, for example. And here's a fair criticism worth saying out loud. The big models it's being compared to mostly aren't using that same kind of heavy test time scaling in these comparisons, so it's a little apples to oranges. If you let the frontier models do the same trick, the gap might look different. It doesn't erase the result, but it's context you should hold on to. Now there's one more thing that made the previous version go viral, and it carries over here. The predecessor, VibeThinker 1.5b, reported a post-training compute cost of about $7,800. That's roughly 30 to 60 times cheaper than what models like DeepSeek R1 or Minimax M1 spent on the same stage, which ran into the hundreds of thousands. Now, the honest asterisk on that number is it only covers post-training. It does not include the cost of pre-training the Quinn base they built on, which Alibaba already paid for. So it's the final coat of paint on a building someone else constructed. Still, even with that caveat, it reframes who can realistically build a competitive reasoning model, and that's a big part of why people care. So let me get to how you actually run this, because that's probably why you're here. The simplest path on a normal machine is Ollama. There are quantized versions floating around, so you can pull one of those and run the model locally on consumer hardware without much fuss. If you want better throughput and you're serving it properly, the team recommends vLLM. You just install it with pip, then run vLLM serve with the Weibo AI VibeThinker 3B model name, and it spins up an OpenAI-compatible server you can hit with a normal curl request or any client that talks to that API. SGLang is the other supported option and works almost identically. Install with pip, launch the server, send requests to the endpoint. And if you prefer containers, there's a Docker model runner command that pulls and runs it in one line. A couple of practical notes from their own usage guidelines. They recommend a temperature of 1.0, top P of 0.95, and they explicitly say to use a long output window because this model thinks for a very long time. We're talking max tokens in the range of 40,000 to 100,000 on the hardest problems. That's not a typo. The model produces extremely long chains of thought, even on simpler questions, because it was trained to reason deeply by default. It doesn't have the flexibility the bigger models have to recognize when a problem is easy and just answer quickly. So if you feed it something trivial, expect it to burn a lot of tokens getting there. So here's where I land on it. This is a research project, not a production model, and the team is honest about that. You're not going to swap this in for Claude or Gemini in your day-to-day work. But the real takeaway is the recipe. If this same spectrum-to-signal approach gets applied to a 9 billion or a 30 billion parameter model, one that keeps some real knowledge alongside the reasoning, you could end up with open models that are genuinely useful and cheap to train. That's the future this is hinting at. And that's why it's worth understanding even if you never run the 3B yourself. Alright, so that's it from the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.